What about Dennis?
We're here. Welcome to our second completely random UTB Blogcast. We've got, I'm Brad again. We've got Robert.
Hey, how's it going?
We've got Josh.
Hey, glad to be here.
We've got Dave, Uncle Dave.
How you doing, people? And I'm glad you're Brad again because I'm used to it.
There you go.
He's got a hat on this time, too.
I got a hat on because Robert made fun of my hair last time.
Yeah. I think I'm next. I don't know.
Also, my glasses just because I felt left out last time, so there.
Yay!
Well, we hit on the Android rumor a couple days ago, and since that came out, looking at all the major media, there's one thing that I keep seeing, and that is Android's coming to BlackBerry, and it's going to stop the app gap. Everybody's excited about BlackBerry having apps, and I thought the app gap was already closed. We've got Amazon, we've got Android apps, yet outside of the BlackBerry world, everybody still thinks that we have an app gap.
And I wonder, Brad, if one reason isn't because some of the apps that, well, let's face it, let's roll back a sec. What is the percentage of Android usage on this planet? Not just the United States, although people seem to concentrate on that and North America in general. But what is the percentage of people using Android as an operating system, and how many of those people use Google Play services? And I think that it's those that are that people are wanting or think they want. I don't, but you know, is that what we're talking about here? Google Play services, integration with Google Maps, and things like that, or what is it that people think they're missing?
If you talk to them, it's just apps. They want their apps, and they think that we don't have apps. There's not a single app I'm missing. Now, I don't use Snapchat, but there's not literally nothing that I'm missing.
Yeah, and so what would you describe as your use case? What do you call or how do you describe your use case for a smartphone mobile user?
Me?
Yeah, you forget to say
you.
I'm not
again,
much,
Brad.
there we go, Brad again. No,
'Cause it's
I'm
all
not much
funny.
of a gamer. I'm not. I'll download something when I see people talking about it. I'll play with it. Generally get bored very quickly and don't play anymore. The only game I play pretty consistently is Clash of Clans, and I basically just go and collect my potions and coins every day and turn it off. Josh? Any
Yes,
apps
sir.
you feel like you're missing?
Yeah, I think I'm missing something. I can't remember what it was. It's around here somewhere. No, I mean, I think we talked about it a little earlier before we started, and it makes sense. It's a little generational, sure. There's kids are playing a lot of things. The college students are always playing with stuff, and yeah, there's some things out there that Google services are required to make them work, you know. And like Brad says, he tries something and plays with it, but then doesn't use it. But still, that's an activity, playing with them and using them. So if someone of you are out and your friends have something, and then you're sitting there and you can't download it to at least try it to say, yeah, I don't like it, you're sort of left out. You know, do you need them? No, I don't need them, but I like to play around with them and then delete them. I've gone through hundreds of apps. I don't, you know, just try them and delete them. So sometimes I feel like I'm missing out on something because I don't know what it is, you know. And I have family members that want to play something or do something, and they can't get it. It happens once in a while. We went to CVS the other day to try and get photographs off of the BlackBerry phone at the kiosk, and they've changed the kiosk since the last time we were there, and you couldn't do it. You know, you have to go back to the house and do it over the internet. You know, so you can still do it. You still got the pictures off of the phone and got them to print, but it wasn't as convenient as it might have been if it was an iPhone or a full Android phone.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
it's
Josh,
not.
was that a lack of it needed Google Play now, or?
I don't know. I didn't really look into it that much because I just didn't have time to research it all. I know I come home and Blend connects to the phone, and I just pull the pictures off and put them into the website at the laptop, and then 20 minutes later drive down to the CVS and get the picture.
Right.
It's not like I couldn't do something, but it wasn't as convenient as it might otherwise be. Some of it's convenience factor because it doesn't come up on the screen. Your phone isn't shown on the screen, so we're kind of left out in a way. So you have to kind of know what you're doing a little bit more than you might otherwise if you had an iPhone or an Android phone. It's like the irritation of you go somewhere and it doesn't say BlackBerry World. It always says Google Play or iOS. It's just
I've seen
irritating.
I've seen a lot of advertisements that show App World or Google Play, and now they put the website up there as a third thing.
Yeah. So are there apps on iPhone that aren't on Android? No one ever talks. Yeah. But no one ever talks about that. It's like maybe if we could get something that we had that other people really wanted, then that would be a little bit fair game going that way. That would be all right if we had something the other ones didn't.
That was how Instagram started out. Instagram was iOS only, and I think it stayed that way tantamount to a year. And of course, Android being what it is, percentage-wise, they ended up making an app for Android. And this is just a story I read that said that the iOS users were horrified that Android users would now have access to Instagram. And just think about that as an attitude.
Well, it's more like being stingy. I mean, why should I have it and nobody else? But it's just like Josh is saying. It comes to be more of convenience apps. Right now, there are no specific apps that everybody must have. It's based on everyday life that you have. Like he mentioned, when you go to Walgreens, if you go to CVS to get for the pictures app. I mean, it's just stuff people get used to, and then it's kind of like they get lazy. So you just give them that. It's there. It's always going to be available for iOS and Android because of the high amount of usage that they have for those devices. I mean, BlackBerry did fall back when they should have made changes, but it's because of the old mentality type that we're BlackBerry, instead of taking new, like when you go to newer ideas that come in, they just decided we're here, we're not going anywhere.
So what would you describe your use case for mobility as?
I didn't hear the question. I was taking the earphones off.
Oh, I was wondering what you describe your
explosion.
use case as.
For me personally, I mean, I hardly ever use any apps. I mean, I just use the phone just out of the box the way it is. I mean, right now, I can go through my phone. I do have Snap, because I mean, I do test apps. Sometimes people will tell me that app's not working for them, or if it's not working for somebody else, so I'll probably download it to see if it does. But Android apps right now on my phone,
Not necessarily Android apps, but what's what's your use case? Why do you need a mobile device? Why do you need a smartphone? What's the
why
point?
do I need a smartphone? Okay. And for what I do for my everyday life, I need to stay connected because I do a lot of IT support. The most I use my phone with, it's either email, text messages, or just straight out BBM. I mean, that's the way my customers prefer for me to get in contact with them. Right? I do tech support for 44 financial institutions right now. I mean, and they want assistance. They want it done at fastest way possible. I mean, instead of getting a phone call, it's easier. Hey, I have this issue, and I can just message them. I can just message them back, like, real quick. Just do this or just do that, or it's just the way it works. And to me,
Yeah.
I won't talk on the phone much, but it's mostly, I would say, 65%. It'll be either email, text message, or BBM. And apps, I don't need apps to be productive, because that's why I'm always just going to just like library, because it's just what works for me. I have tried Android, I have tried iPhone, they just don't make the cut. They don't work.
Right, for your use case.
Yeah.
Totally get it.
Yeah, if you look at my wife, for example, I mean, my wife, she uses iPhone just because of Facebook. That's it. I mean, she's an accountant, and that's all she uses her phone for, is just for Facebook. That's the only reason why she has it. And WhatsApp she'll use to talk to her family, because she's from Chile. So that's the way she stays in communication.
Right. Well, my use case is not too dissimilar from yours, I would say. I'm in the telecommunications business, and one of the things that attracted me to BlackBerry initially was in the OS7 and earlier days. And in those days, our industry was just coming out with mobile apps to complement the business PBX telephone market, which is our primary business. And so it made sense for me to dive into that as a product, because at that time the apps were being made for BBOS. So that's kind of how I got into it, and I won't bore you with how things went on, but today I still have those apps. I'm going to say most of them, but not all of them, are Android-based. A couple of them are built for BB10. Well, maybe just one right now. There's more coming. And for me, my use case is not dissimilar to yours, Robert. I need email, I need BBM, I need SMS, and I use voice because that's what we do for a business. And I need to be able to show these apps on various handsets. And I'm not a gamer, really couldn't care less about that. There's a couple of time wasters, I think, like Brad mentioned. But that's what I need. I need communication. It needs to be quick, fast, and the voice piece needs to be awesome. So you get a Paratech antenna and a BB handset that cannot be beat. The radios are second to none. So it's just what I need. And I probably have over 150 apps on my phone. I don't even want to waste my time counting them. Streaming services for music, because I like that. All other piles of different kinds of apps, because I like testing things. But there's absolutely nothing I'm missing and nothing I care about. And basically, I don't need Google services, but I can understand why somebody might think they want them or think that they need them. It's Google making you think you need them, and you don't.
Well, we pretty much played into the stereotype of BlackBerry users here. We're all about productivity and communication, and when iOS users and Android users are talking about apps, they're not talking about those things. They're talking about games.
No.
Yeah.
They're talking about the social aspects. And I mean, I don't think we're lacking at this point. We've got a couple of holdouts. When we first started up with BB10 and we had the initial app gap, think about what we were missing. It was Words with Friends, and it was Angry Birds. We've got them. Nobody cares. I think we probably all downloaded them. We probably all played it. Wondered why the heck everybody was afraid of BB10 because we didn't have these two apps. Now it's Netflix and Instagram, which we all know work. Both of them work perfectly well on BB10. We can all get them from Snap. They work great. And they were on Amazon, but they were pulled from BlackBerry.
Yeah, but Netflix is on Amazon again because it's showing up in the UK.
Yeah, and I don't know whether that's is that a mistake, Robert, or is that the the beginning of something new?
That's
I have a feeling next week it'll either be pulled from the UK or we'll see it in the US, and I bet you we're going to see it pulled from the UK.
Yeah.
I'd like to see which version it was. I asked Biggs what version was showing up for him, but he never responded. So I don't know if it's an older version, if it would have been an updated version. If it was an updated version, it might have meant something. I don't know.
Well, I wish Ray was here because Ray actually got into he's had several arguments with Netflix about why they pulled it. I've read a couple of the transcripts and they're pretty blatant about it.
I think they pulled it because of Ray. That's what I'm thinking.
Ray caused it. No, they keep saying in his transcript that there's no deal with BlackBerry. It really has nothing to do with does the app work or not. There's no deal. And each time as he tried to find out what the deal was, they would transfer off of that. Now, I mean, I know this is somebody that's paid to sit there and respond, but it kind of falls in line with what we've all expected, which is these app makers want to be paid to bring their apps to the platform. Microsoft paid, and they got it. They put these apps on the little Nintendo devices. Meanwhile, we don't have them on our BlackBerry where it works great.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I saw a video somewhere. Might have been Bigley showing it to us of how they put it on some super old device. What was it? It wasn't. It was like VIC 20 vintage, but it wasn't a VIC 20. What was it? And the Netflix engineers actually had it running on that. It's not like
that. They have plenty of time for that. They don't have 5 minutes to submit it to BlackBerry World, huh?
Yeah, all they need to do is port the app. That's it.
That's it. It works. It works perfectly.
Just make it available because the APK works just fine.
I know. All they have to do is uncheck that stupid box in Amazon.
And if you look at Amazon.com on the internet, it shows up.
Yep.
Oh, it's there for the Kindles and the other Android devices. It's not there for the BlackBerry devices.
No.
Yeah.
But whatever. It's one of those apps that maybe 1 in 100 times you would use Netflix, you would actually use it on your handheld.
Yeah, I've got it on my Z10, and I never use it, but it's there so I can show that it works.
Yeah, and I'm a Netflix subscriber, and I have it on my phone, and I never use it on my phone almost ever. Maybe once in a year.
Yeah, but if you look at it, what's the use of having it on a phone? Because everybody now has data packages. I mean, if you start streaming videos and movies, it's going to eat up your data.
Yeah, and there's some people that care about that and some people that don't. Me, I have, 3 gigs I can use, and I never even come close to that every month.
I have unlimited, so it doesn't bother me. But I mean, I still don't even use it on my phone. I mean, I have it on my TV. So when
I use Netflix, a couple, 3 times a week maybe, but it's always streaming off my laptop to my TV, not my phone.
So do you think it's made a difference? The smart TVs coming out, since they have the TV that it's being used less and less on the phones itself?
Probably. There's you'd think there'd be a dent there.
Yeah, because right now on iOS, it's ranked in 10th place out of the top 50 apps.
Yeah. And people think that they need it. Maybe there's a bunch of commuters with piles of data that want to catch up on House of Cards or something on the way to work. I don't know.
So why wouldn't they download it and save it on their phone?
Right. I don't know.
No storage space.
Yeah. Somebody showed I don't know who it was, but somebody showed an app in one of our groups. And what was it? It was like, when you should take a drink of water, when you should hydrate. That's what we've become.
That's important.
Well, not we. Maybe some of the people watching this, I don't know, but not we. I kind of think I know when to take a drink of water.
You need an app to tell you when you're thirsty?
I don't need a freaking app to tell me to take a drink of water for 5, 6.
The Apple Watch 2 will have a sensor for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe it'll mistake, that your skin is dry and you should actually be using some lotion. I don't know. I mean, really, what have we become when you're going to need to depend on an app to take a drink of water? Next.
I don't think Brad has any water, so he doesn't really need the app. So.
Well, yeah, as further you get to the southwest, there's issues.
I remember back when grass was green and you could walk on it.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Brad, you're not far away from Cupertino. You're the closest. So
Yeah,
is that why there's an Apple app to tell you to take a drink of water? Is that Apple's rationalization for rationing water?
There's no rationalizing Apple. None. Apps came about because their phones couldn't do what they were supposed to do. That's all it was. The browser sucked. The phone was incapable. And we got apps to make things work that wouldn't work in the phone. And look at us now.
Being dependent on apps.
Yeah, they hated Flash. So while the rest of us were using Flash on mobile websites, they couldn't. And hey, guess what? That's why you need an app for that.
Yeah, 9 years later, they still don't have a proper native email. So yeah, there's plenty of apps for that.
Yeah, I think Chris had an argument for that on our last podcast.
And we should have kept talking about that, because the thing is, you can't reply and attach an email. You can't reply and attach an attachment to an email on iOS.
No,
so
what year is it?
What's that?
What year is it? It's 2015.
Yeah, we were doing that on BBOS 5 easily.
Yeah. But that, whatever, we can go on about that, I guess, but you're right. The phone came out and it was a phone, and not an excellent phone, but it was a phone. And it had more screen space, so that was attractive, let's face it. It was colorful, still is, kind of skittlish. And you're right, it was cute, and it needed it needed apps to get anything done, anything.
It actually became to be a fashion statement.
Yeah. Which is fine for certain segments, but man, for business, I just don't get it. All the apps in the world doesn't make the basic function of the machine worthwhile, in my humble opinion, but hey, that's why we're here.
And now people are, not us, obviously, but the people outside, the Android media and the iOS media are excited about the idea of BlackBerry going Android, and excited about the apps coming on board. the apps that they think that we're missing. Meanwhile, what would we actually give up to get a Netflix on a store that's installed on our phone?
Oh, man. I wish I knew exactly how they were going to do it so I could form a better opinion, but I can see how you could containerize what we've already got and add Google Play services to it, and that to me wouldn't be very scary at all. And it would be something, and again, going back to the last podcast, if it was in a virtual environment and you could boot that up as an app and used it in a sandbox, containerized, then that's not a concern at all as far as I'm concerned, security-wise. And then you've always got BB10 to do all of your work things, or the rest of the work things. But again, I'm not sure whether that play is built for consumers or not.
I'm not going to know for a while.
No.
Hopefully something will show up in the earnings report that's coming up, so at least get an idea.
You think there's going to be a Q&A there? You think they're going to let some loose lips?
Too many rumors are starting to come out, so I mean, I'd imagine that something might drop. I mean, or at least to get a better idea of what where BlackBerry's going with everything. Can't just keep everything quiet. I mean, too many people are interested and want to know what's going on.
What's Chen going to pull out of his pocket this time?
He's been dropping too many hints. You know what I mean? Little by little, things are showing up, and something's got to happen.
Yep. If I was a guessing guy, I'd say we were going to get Google Play services, but I do not know. Then that's sort of furthering a not rumor. I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, you can get a lot of apps right now that depend on Google Play services. And you can patch them. I mean, and they work just fine. I mean.
Yeah, and Google knows that. They're not stupid. Chen knows that. He's the furthest away from stupid. And the OHA, what does it really mean anymore? I mean, who cares? If you're going to have a partner, things change in contracts.
That's what exceptions are for.
Yeah, anything can change. Anything can happen. And if anything, the mobile world is probably the fastest moving of any other technology space. You know, especially in consumers, anything can happen, and it moves fast. So for all I know, within 3 or 4 months, that's what we'll see. Google Play services on our handsets. I don't know. Either that or a virtual machine. Not sure.
I think Google needs to open up. I think they're on the verge of losing their Android. Well, obviously the what is it, Cyanogen? I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but they've flat out said they're taking Android from Google, and they're working on it. We've got all these forked Androids out there. Someone's going to do it, even if those guys don't do it. And then what's Google left with? They've got a huge app store that only their partners will use. Meanwhile, their partners aren't making any money while Google is.
No, that's right. You know, Samsung makes money less and less over the last couple of years, I guess. HTC never made any money. Sony loses money. And you got to wonder what's the point just to say you're there. Who in their right mind runs a business that on purpose makes no money or loses money? What's the point?
Yeah, but regarding the Google Play Store, it's not about the ads. Because like we were discussing earlier, I mean, they've got 1.5 million apps on Google Play. I mean, out of those apps, it was like 600,000 apps that were considered junk because they've only had less than 500 downloads and they have less than 3-star ratings. I mean, it's just basically all about the ads. It's not nothing to do with apps. Don't let any app into Google Play.
Yeah, you're right, Robert. Google doesn't care about you as a manufacturer, obviously, and Google doesn't care about anything except to make sure that you're downloading apps that they can suck information off of. Ads and locations and data mining. That's what it's all about.
So how does BlackBerry do something with the Android and not have everybody's stuff given away that you just listed? Location and all of that good stuff. They're going to do anything with that? Just going to let all
that's
of
why
that go?
they haven't done anything before, because, I mean, BlackBerry's not going to allow it.
I don't know how you can stop it. If you've got an app, excuse me, if you've got an app whose partial or sole use is to suck your information, and you have a data plan or Wi-Fi that's allowing that to happen, unless your sandbox disallows such things, it's going to happen. So either BlackBerry has to say, here's your new container, and your new container has Google Play on it, and here's the risks. You said you wanted it, and fill your boots, and then you're just like everybody else. And oh, by the way, if you have, a half a brain, we still have BB10 over here, and you should use that for all of your things that are important to you. I don't know how to stop Google Play or those apps that want to take your information. I mean, you can stop some apps on the Android side from seeing your BB10 side's calendar and contacts and whatnot, but there's apps that find those. I have some, and they're
right now, even right now, when you install the APKs, you can BB10 allows you to disable certain permissions.
Yeah,
maybe that's.
Yeah, and I wonder how many people do that. Fair enough, fair comment. I wonder how many people do that. Don't know.
Anybody coming from that world's just used to hitting OK anyway. Yeah, take my information, click it, OK, now I've got a new game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had one of the guys at the office, Android user for years. And what did he have? I don't know, Galaxy 2 and then a 3 and then a Note. And one day he came to me and he said, look at this. And he showed me his phone. He always goes every Sunday to pick up this person. And then they always go for their meeting. And there's Google Play services saying, well, the traffic's not very good today, so if you're going to go pick up this person that you always pick up every Sunday, you should go now. Oh. And then he said, that's it. That's creepy. I'm done. And he got his Ed30.
My sister, when she got rid of her Galaxy, she was on the internet. For some reason, she was looking up clothes that she was interested in buying, and the listing of the blouse that she wanted to buy, she literally freaked out because the picture that she saw showing the blouse that she was interested in, I mean, it was not the exact same blouse, but it was one similar to what she was looking at. It was a picture of her, and she freaked out. She even showed me. She's like, "Look at this. This is my picture."
Where did they skin that off of?
Facebook.
Facebook or something, or what?
Pictures that she posted on Facebook.
Wow.
And she freaked out. And another instance was my nephew, 7 years old. So he sends into these little accounts so he can play games online and stuff. And for some reason, some of her contacts started showing up as his friends on where he was signed up at, and she didn't know why, because the whole time since he is a contact of her. So automatically some of her contacts are showing up as recommended friends for him for something had nothing to do with anything. She just stopped. She's been on a Z30 ever since. Hasn't looked back. She actually loves it though.
Yeah. Well, there's a point to be made, you know. Like, if that's what you're into, go ahead and fill your boots. But you're really just you're sort of giving yourself away. You're giving it all away, signing it all away. I don't like that. I don't subscribe to it. The only Google service I've been using over the last 2 or 3 years is YouTube. I mean, here we are on Hangouts. Thank you very much. But
yeah, Brad's fault.
Sorry.
Him and his podcast.
But as a general rule, I'm not into using their services. It's like my buddy at work. It's just a little bit too creepy. Thank you. And yeah, I'm over 50. But still, I mean, it makes no sense to me. There's no use case for me. Don't get it.
But see, stories like that will freak people out, and they'll be angry about it for a couple weeks, and then they forget about it, and they go right back to what they were doing before.
Yeah. And do you think it's really a couple of weeks, buddy? I'm thinking more it's a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Apple's going to come out with their next update, and you watch. Within 3 weeks, we'll get the same story again about your iPhone is tracking you. Here's how to shut it down. It'll be all over all the blogs again. Everybody will freak out. They'll turn it off, and it'll happen on the iOS 10. It's so repetitive. The same things keep happening over there, and they just allow it.
Yeah.
We had
I don't. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying. Well, you know, we had the fappening. You know, all the celebrity pictures come out, all based on the iCloud. And now they're coming out with the home kit that's going to be using the iCloud. Didn't they realize how unsafe that was when they're looking at their favorite celebrities doing things we never thought we'd see them do?
I think we all knew that they did them. We just never expected to see it.
Yeah, that stays up here usually.
Yeah, but can you imagine a hacker getting into somebody's security system and have full access to their video cameras of everything they do at their house? Man, it's kind of freaky.
Not letting you out of your garage today. Thank you very much. Yeah. No, you ain't going to work. Sorry. No. I think people don't pay enough attention to a basically, secure way to do things. As said before, the other platforms, you can root them or jailbreak them. Now, inherently is not secure, and therefore your apps can't stay secure, and it's only a matter of time. And the only way to start, which includes the Internet of Things or whatever, or even your handset, the gear in your hand, is to start with a piece of equipment that can't be rooted. And that's why things like BlackPhone are kind of funny right out of the box. I don't know. I don't know whether you can make something like Android secure. I mean, can you?
They haven't been able to so far.
I think BlackBerry's going to.
Yeah, there's only one person or one company that can, I think.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll see. I would really hate to see that become adopted from a G7 perspective, and then something bad happens because Android's not secure, or because it can be rooted. How do you make something that can always and easily be rooted stop being rooted? Do you create a new secure boot for it, and that's the name of that tune, or?
Yeah, well,
Sure.
doesn't a BlackBerry check when it's booting?
Yep.
Right.
Hardware and software have to agree, otherwise that puppy won't boot.
Right. So they're going to be able to have that still happen and then load the Android OS on top of that. So the device would be secure at that level with the boot.
Right, which means a VM. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think you need to have it be virtual to do that. I think you can still, they're going to have a way to still boot the phone secure and then load the Android on top of that. So you won't be able to root the phone like you were describing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what they're going to do.
If say you have an Android layer that's going to be run on top of QNX, all you would need to do is have QNX secure. It wouldn't matter what else you have, right?
Well, I mean, you'd still have security issues with the apps that you ran, but you wouldn't have the whole device rooted. You can still get apps that, collect data and do things they're not supposed to do that we talked about, but you're not going to root the phone. I think that's the thing that BlackBerry is going to bring to the table.
Yeah, well, if they can make it so that it's kind of like the 10.3.2 version of the OS, and you can't get it. If you do get it stolen, then you can't put a different version of OS on it, and it makes the phone worthless and useless, and you can remotely kill it. That's one thing. Guess we'll see.
We're
all
way
waiting.
off track.
What was that?
I said we're way off track here.
I was just going to say,
I thought that's what we were supposed to do,
guys. Yeah, what about that app gap?
Yeah,
that I don't have.
This is UTB. We're not supposed to follow an agenda.
There you go. We're different.
When you have an agenda, you have a talk, and it becomes being sort of like a script. I mean, it's just like we're better to just have an open our conversation.
Yeah.
I'll remember that.
Well, anyway, if they do come out with some version of Android, which I don't know, maybe that's what the slider's going to be, Android with a BB10 skin on it. I don't know. And if you do get access to Google Play services, then there is absolutely nothing in the world that you could possibly say that you can't have.
I'll just come up with another excuse.
And then, then what is it? Are the purists like us going to poo-poo it because it's got an Android component? I don't know. I like BB10. I think it's slick, it's fast, it's powerful. The file system is second to none. You don't need an app for that. It rocks. You got remote file access anywhere on the planet. You got your own cloud, all right out of the box. It's got the best antenna made. It's a communications powerhouse. And what do I want to trade that for? I don't know. I don't have an app gap. It doesn't exist for me.
No, not one app?
No, I don't have an app gap in business, and I don't have an app gap for my personal life. Nope. Yes, I use Android apps, and I don't know what the percentage is that I use for business. I'm going to say 40% or less. Again, what I do is communications, and for my personal life, hey, BBM kills it, and there's some music apps, some native, some Android. My banking app is native. I don't know. I don't. There's nothing missing for me. I just don't care. I don't need Snapchat. I have Netflix. I don't use it, but I have it. I have Instagram. I don't use it, but I have it. There's nothing missing for me at all. I can stream to my TV.
A lot of the apps that everybody always used to have is from the mobile banking app. I mean, the web version is pretty much basically the same thing now.
Yeah, that's what I used before my bank came out with their native BB10 app. And it was fast, and it got everything I needed done. Today I have the BB10 app, and I think it's written in HTML5. It's almost not any faster. It's HTML5. That's the web. But it's a native BB10 app, and I don't know, I use it. I don't use the web anymore.
Mega's a APK, right?
Yeah, it's a port.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in BlackBerry world, but it is a port.
Works really good, too.
That works. Dropbox, Box, OneDrive. I don't know.
So I don't have OneNote. I want to try OneNote on a phone.
I have that. That works.
Send them the
Works
APK.
fine. Yeah, you can get it yourself off of Snap, no problem. It works. You can obviously create notes. You can see your, and it's not just personal. It works for personal and your business. It'll do Office 365. I use it at work, and you can, it has access to your microphone. You can record voice notes. It has access to your camera. You can take pictures and automatically have them up in the correct section in OneNote. It works fine on my Passport. It worked on my Z30. It works. No problem. No app gap.
What was the last app you tried on your BlackBerry that didn't work?
Today, I downloaded just for funsies Nova Launcher. And Nova Launcher runs, but it's kind of gimped on the Passport because there's little tiny pieces of icon at the top of the screen that's supposed to be at the bottom of the screen, and it's not. But it works, and I don't care, and it's one of those things that I tried, and I got piles of those on my phone. And I'll just delete it because I don't care. I thought about it today at lunch, and I downloaded it and tried it, and and it has immediate access to all my Android apps. They're all there as if it installed them.
What about HBO?
Haven't tried it. Don't have access up here.
Isn't there an HBO Go app that doesn't work?
Could be. Maybe it needs Google Play services. I don't know. But up here, it's worthless for me. It doesn't work in Canada.
Because that's I'm just thinking. The forums that we used to inhabit before we started our own. That was always the thing. We were constantly told, "Oh, they run like crap on BlackBerry. They, you can sideload them if you want, but they don't run." And I'm thinking back, like the last one I tried that didn't work was Words with Friends several operating systems ago. I've got it on my Z10 now, and I play with it. I don't have it on my Passport, but my Passport's a higher OS than my Z10. I can't think of anything that I've ran into that I wanted that wouldn't work. And going back a couple OSs ago, they ran better on my Z10 than they did on my Galaxy Tab.
Yeah. I think there was a statement that came out that got us in trouble like that. Yeah. We'll just leave that alone.
Was it? Did I do that?
No, I think one of our friends came up with a coined a phrase that wasn't necessarily well received from others.
Oh, the better Android than Android? Was that it?
Hey, you said it, not me. Yeah.
You can't forget that. You can't.
No, that created some wonderfully light entertainment.
People
well.
used to get mad at that. I would tell them I could run your Android app better than you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in most cases, it was true. Like, I mean, and I'm not going to say on every device because I know that there's, HTC and
Hmm. Oh, well, more fun than that was when we were told that we were stealing them.
Note Tab, the big one that was a 10.1. It didn't run half as fast as my Z10 did.
Oh, well.
Oh well.
Hey, I'm checking HBO Go for you. Hold on. It's installing right now.
Yeah, I mean, my local cable operator has an app
Not these Google Play services.
yeah, my local cable operator has an app, and it works. I don't need to watch that on my handset. It doesn't need Google Play services, and it didn't run on 10.2.1, and it didn't run on 10.3.0, but it started running on 10.3.1, and as we, move along, and the runtime has a more complete set of features, more and more apps run. Just Google Play services don't, unless you strip them out. But do you guys remember that fabulous incident of being told that we were stealing things?
Oh yeah, with was it Jerry and
And the pacemakers.
yeah, there you go. I was thinking Ben and Jerry, those
Yeah. Yeah.
lovely guys over there calling us pirates.
Yeah, I think there's still horrifying remnants of that conversation on their site somewhere. It was pretty funny to watch. I think there was 9 of us.
Yeah, there's only 9.
Right. Yeah. That was
You could,
fun.
as far as the HBO Go, you could probably patch that file and it'll work.
Yeah. More than likely.
Yeah.
But it's like Netflix. There's a certain percentage of people that'll use it, and a certain percentage of people, a larger percentage of people that would put it on their phone and never use it. To me, it's not part of the app gap.
But it's the one that's most commonly pointed out, Netflix and Instagram.
Yeah, it falls into that category. I could see Instagram more than Netflix. I mean, people are on the go, and it's an extremely important thing to be able to take a picture of your frickin' linguini and upload that, because you got to have those 5 likes, man.
Are you talking about Instagram and Snapchat now, Dave?
It's Instagram. It's just you gotta have the picture of the linguini, or you're a loser.
I still think he's talking about Snapchat, talking about his linguini.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're past your prime with that one. Or something. Anyway.
Okay, well,
What
exit
app gap?
strategy, guys.
I think we've run the course of the app gap.
There we go.
Yeah.
There isn't one.
And I need to go. What do you got there?
Jesus.
It's our Snapchatter.
Oh, right on. Yeah, where was he tonight? How come he didn't show up?
Speak, Robert, so that pops up on screen.
Okay. Yeah, this is Jesus, everybody.
Hey, Seuss, we miss you, man. Hey, man,
We'll
miss you, man.
We'll put that portrait of Jesus up on the channel in a little while here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll keep our ear to the ground. He'll show up. Something like that.
Yeah. I gotta go. Wife's starting to complain.
Yeah, let's close it up.
Yeah, we don't want to do that again.
What's that?
We don't want to do any complaining at Josh's house again.
Yeah.
We'll be
Maybe
told
it's
what
a
we
bitch.
are. All right, guys.
My wife's telling me she's gonna go cheat on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I need to go make some linguine because now I'm hungry. I don't know why.
All right. Good night, guys.
All right.
Yeah. We'll do this again next time. See you, dudes.
Next time we're gonna have a guest. It won't be just the four of us again.
All right. Well,
All right,
sounds
Brad,
like
you're
a
on
good
that guest getting job.
I'm on it. We've got one ready to go.
Hey,
Right.
Josh,
All right.
check out the Stevie Wonder simulator I sent you.
Yeah, I got it. I haven't looked at it yet. I'm scared.
That's the point. Yeah.
All right.
I gotta go.
Have a
Okay,
good night.
guys. Have a good one. See you guys later.